So look out for that. Let's take a look at the details of that forecast, though. Into Wednesday we go, and as I mentioned, we are going to see some unsettled weather here. Windy conditions for a lot of folks in the plain states while we head eastward. It's going to be thunderstorms that you'll have to deal with here in Illinois and Indiana, back into southeastern Missouri. So more rough weather for you. In the west, some of the mountains dealing with snow. Thursday, watching this system continue to push on eastward. Now to the north and west of our low, this is where you'll be dealing with the rain, with the windy conditions, maybe some areas even getting some snow, while we go to this region, and scattered strong storms are a possibility. Look out from the deep south all the way back into Ohio and Indiana. It may be a rough day for you. We'll have to watch out for volatile weather. Just stay tuned to the Weather Channel and we'll continue to keep you updated here. And towards the East Coast, you'll have some showers and maybe some storms too, but we're thinking the best chance for strong storms right in here. So we'll be watching that for you, and we'll watch that system as it continues to push on eastward, and that's going to mean rain up and down the East Coast with the chance for some thunderstorms mixed in too. Now most of the western half of the country pretty quiet. We do have a few exceptions here, but for the most part you're dealing with a much more tranquil scenario. Take a look at that Saturday forecast. As I mentioned, here in Texas, things may not be so nice for you, and along the Gulf Coast, showers and storms, although the majority of the country is really going to be pretty quiet here. Through the central states and through much of the western U.S., we can't rule out the possibility of a few scattered showers around Portland and around Seattle. On into Sunday we go, and the southeast still got the chance for thunderstorms here for you. Look out from the Carolinas back to the Gulf Coast. Now the trend as we head into the beginning of next week shows that we may have some wet weather along the East Coast, while in the west a chance of showers for you, although the trend right now is looking to be a fairly tranquil scenario for a lot of the country. We'll look out for that chance of wet weather to push on eastward and up and down the East Coast. Look out maybe in Florida. And again, we'll continue to fine-tune this forecast as we head through time, so keep checking in with us and we'll keep you updated. Here are those high temperatures on Wednesday. Unseasonably cool temperatures for you in the western states, but in the east it's going to be nice and mild with 70s all the way up into the Ohio Valley. And on into Thursday we go. More of the same. Finally, by Friday, things beginning to moderate somewhat, warming up in the west, and we see fewer and fewer 40s for highs across the country Friday and on into Saturday. A lot of folks dealing with some warm weather, although not quite as warm as we would typically expect to see across the southeastern U.S., but still can't complain about temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Lows are mild in the southeast for your Wednesday, and again that trend will continue as we head through the coming days. It's really going to be coolest in the western U.S., although we may have a brief cool down in the east on into Saturday. And here's that forecast for Sunday. Well, it's time now for our weekend outlook for a couple of days into the work week, and we're making plans for the weekend. What's in store? Well, the temperatures, again, not looking so bad out there. Again, it's a little cooler than we would typically expect to see at this time of year across the southeastern U.S., but nothing unbearably cold in store for you. As far as precipitation, we'll be dealing with that along the Gulf Coast, showers and storms. If you have plans outdoors, keep that in mind. It may not be the nicest day for that, but for the vast majority of the country, things are looking pretty quiet right now. On into Sunday we go. Continued mild temperatures, but continued not quite as mild as we would expect to see in the southeast at this time of year, and it's going to be stormy as well. So showers and thunderstorms may put a damper on those weekend plans. Let's take a look at some highlights. The PGA Seniors Championship, Palm Beach Gardens, a high of 81, but scattered thunderstorms may be a bit of a problem. In Phoenix for the Winston West Series NASCAR, 79 your high under sunny skies. And here we go into South Carolina. Stay tuned. Weather Center's coming up next.
Our experts are monitoring storms threatening the Great Plains. Get the potential impact and be prepared. Watch Weather Center after your local forecast.
I'm king of the lawn, lord of all I survey. Look at the king's lawn.
Hey, King, how about getting to those gutters?
Greenview's two-way green power kills weeds and fertilizes for a lawn you'll be darn proud of.
Mine, all mine.
Hey.
When you want to stand out, nothing demands attention like posted flags. Posted flags help you sort, file, organize, and highlight what's important. Posted flags.
Hey.
Hey.
You know, I'm curious, when you power into a tight corner, does your beamer track G-loads, braking history, and regardless of throttle position, automatically downshift for more control?
I don't think so.
Maybe you should check your manual.
The all-new Seville STS with the North Star system. Racing-inspired shift control, the convenience of an automatic. It's not just new, it's what's next.
Braking history. It's not in there.
The all-new Seville STS. It's what's next.
Looking for something exciting on TV tonight? Something with power, with passion.
Weather is passionate, if you think about it.
Insight, drama.
There's a mystery and awe to it all.
Something that tells you about the whys and wonders.
All this atmospheric energy.
The big stories.
It's exciting to watch.
And what it all means to you.
You can't help but just say, wow.
Drama, passion, suspense, tropospheric undulations. Every night on Weather Center PM.
In the next half hour, Weather Center PM, a comprehensive national forecast. At 40 after, Weather Center PM continues with highway and air travel conditions. Then the weekend outlook. And at 50 after, Storm Watch. But right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Finn. It's been a wet day for many areas in the east. Rain fell from the Gulf Coast to the Great Lakes. Let's take a look at where that wet weather is right now. And of course, Mike told you all about the storminess through the central states. And Jeff is going to have more on the western U.S., but in the east, that's where we're going to focus in. And with the northeastern U.S., what you're dealing with is rain, and you've even got a few storms mixed in here, especially into Pennsylvania. Some of these storms have even been severe, so watch out for that. Sort of a rough, murky night for you here through New York State on into Pennsylvania. The wet weather continues as this front sweeps through the region. Right now, where you're getting the rain, well, from Buffalo back to around the Pittsburgh area. Look out also around Binghamton. Some of this will be eventually headed your way. It looks like a bit of a break for Philadelphia, but up towards New York City, maybe some showers for you, but most of the heavier rain seems to be here to the south, moving out over the open waters of the Atlantic. But here to the north, more rain, and all this pushing on off to the east, so you'll want to watch out if you live anywhere east of this area of rain for some soggy conditions tonight. Slippery roadways out there, and this is the area that we will be focusing in on. Best chance for wet weather, Pennsylvania, New York State, and on into southern New England. We're also dealing with some wet weather in the southeastern U.S., and you've had some storms mixed in too in Alabama and into central Georgia. Right now pretty quiet in Atlanta, but to the south dealing with some wet weather here over into southern South Carolina. And again, you can see that on the radar here from Macon southward. That's where most of the wet weather is along I-16 there. And then as you travel southward, perhaps towards Tifton or eventually down towards Valdosta, and then just to the south of Charleston, the rain continues for you. So look out, wet weather possible throughout the southeast, and keep in mind that for some areas there will be some thunderstorms mixed in too. What about the western U.S., Jeff?
All right, Kristina, well, let's go ahead and talk about the west. Very unsettled, primarily, or basically what you have here is a big pocket of colder air aloft, and then you get strong solar heating, the strong April sunshine, and you get warm air at the surface, you get cold air aloft. That's not the way the atmosphere wants to be. It wants to be the other way around. And in the process of mixing and overturning, you bubble up these showers. And in the higher elevations, it's cold enough for some snow. Snow scattered all the way from central Colorado all the way up into the Bitterroots between Idaho and Montana. Scattered rain showers anywhere from just south of Seattle down along I-5. Kind of a showery drive on I-5 right now through the Willamette Valley and all the way into central and northern California. Even some rain showers here along the 5 in parts of southern California, just west of Fresno and not too far away from LA, just north of LA. Also some rain showers, well, they're kind of disappearing off our screen, but they're still there just north of the Vegas vicinity. There are the rain showers south of Seattle and some snow up into the Cascades. So if you're driving up through the passes, you might encounter a little bit of snow. Rain showers around Denver, but Salt Lake City saw some snow today mixed with rain at times on the valley floor. Here's some pictures to show you. They actually had the plows out. Yeah, there was a dusting of snow on tops of the cars and up into the benches. It may have even accumulated a little bit off the paved surfaces. Typical high this time of the year in Salt Lake City, about 60 degrees or so. So these readings were running some 20 to 25 degrees below average. Doesn't feel very much like springtime there for the time being, and nor will it warm up much in the immediate future. There's the rain showers to the north and snow in the mountains up in Montana. 43 at Cutbank was the high. It's currently 39 there, 38 at Salt Lake, and only 57 in LA. Let's go out to Mike now and talk about the potential for more severe weather tomorrow. Mike?
And Jeff, we've got severe weather tonight, but tomorrow will be another unfortunately dangerous day in parts of the Ohio Valley. Let's show you the setup and the ingredients which are causing the severe weather. And generally, we obviously have to have some moisture, and we're getting that from the lower levels, from the Gulf of Mexico. We're talking about a rich supply of high dew point air. Remember, dew point measures the moisture at the surface, and that low-level jet is scooping it up and bringing it north up through the Mississippi Valley into the Ohio River Valley. Also, we've got this cold front impacting you tonight in the plains. It will continue to move east overnight tonight and tomorrow. That lifts up the warm, humid air, and then you throw in this jet stream with winds roaring at some 150 miles an hour. That purple area is where we have the highest winds. We call that the jet streak in meteorology. So we put all the ingredients together. This is how we make our forecast. You throw the front in there, the moisture coming up, the jet stream coming over that front, and you get the greatest risk of severe weather there in the middle of the country, Indianapolis, over towards Peoria, down towards Memphis, and over towards Louisville, Lexington. This area is certainly going to be primed for some dangerous weather tomorrow. And of course, you can always count on the Weather Channel to keep you updated. Now let's get the update on the rest of the forecast. Back in the studio, here's Kristina.
All right, Mike, here we go into the northeast. Showers as you start the day in New York, back to Syracuse. Temperatures near 50 degrees. To the south, rain and even some thunderstorms around. Look out around Memphis for that. 56 to start your day. In Atlanta, northward we go. Storms for St. Louis at 58. And finally, to the west, we'll be dealing with rain for some folks. LA, San Diego, take the umbrella. You are going to need it as you head out the morning. Maybe a little bit of a messy commute for you. And some of the mountains in the west will be dealing with some snow.
Well, just ahead, an update on weather that could make you change your travel plans.
Stay with us for Travel Wise coming up right after the break.
Stay with us.
Program was sponsored by the nice people at Red Roof Inns. Over 260 locations nationwide, offering honest value every day.
Who always greets you warmly and asks a little in return? The folks at Red Roof Inns. A genuine smile, a clean, comfortable room, and a great rate. Dogs have no concept of money, no pockets. Red Roof Inns, nice people, and an honest value.
Red Roof Inns, nice people and an honest value.
If you own country property, tractors with brush cutters are fine for clearing big fields, but for smaller meadows, pastures, and woodlots, they're just too big and expensive. But look, the amazing self-propelled DR field and brush mower can go where tractors can't. It's perfect for clearing meadows and pastures, cutting trails and walking paths, and for maneuvering around trees in woodlots. Plus, the DR can handle slopes too steep and dangerous for riding equipment. So picture yourself with a DR at your place. Clear tall grass and brush right up to a fence line. Cut brambles, brush, and saplings up to 1 inch thick. Keep your banks, ditches, and roadsides mowed and looking great the easy DR way.
Call toll-free 1-800-859-1818 for your big free package all about the amazing DR Field and Brush Mower. That's 1-800-859-1818 for free DR details.
All right, let's update those travel conditions for you out there. Starting out with airport arrival delays and 30-minute delay for Atlanta, not reporting any other delays at any of the major airports. Travel problems, they are around in several areas across the country. First of all, into the northeastern U.S. You've got this low and front moving through the northeast, and with that, dealing with some rain, and you've also had some storms mixed in parts of Pennsylvania. Wet weather with some storms through the deep south into Georgia and over into Alabama. We've got quite a storm system here dealing with the potential for a good bit of severe weather. As a matter of fact, the potential for tornadoes, and then westward we go, scattered rain with some mountain snows. But here are those watches, tornado watches. That means you have the potential for severe storms, which could produce large hail, heavy amounts of rain, and also the potential that some of these storms could spawn tornadoes. So of course, this area right in here, our travel trouble spot. Look out, severe storms have been reported in some of these areas, and there is certainly the potential for more severe weather. Wet weather, of course, in the northeastern U.S. as well as here through the central states. Some snow for the mountains in the west. Region by region, the northeast, wet weather for a few areas here into the afternoon. Showers still around in New York City. Here's where you can expect slippery roadways in the southeast. Atlanta, maybe some afternoon or evening thunderstorms in your forecast. Rain well to the north here, a possibility, as well as some storms. Chicago, St. Louis as we head through the day, Cincinnati too. And finally to the west, rain with mountain snows. And here's how things are shaping up for the afternoon. Well, stay tuned. Coming up next, we will take a look at your forecast for the weekend. Don't go away.
Looking towards the weekend? We are too on Weekend Outlook ahead.
If you're across the country, although in the southeastern U.S. not quite as warm as we would typically expect to see at this time of year. In the west, nice and toasty for you. We will have some rain and thunderstorms along the Gulf Coast states Saturday. Sunday, more of the same. Temperatures not changing a great deal, and the southeast still looking for the chance for some storms here. Scattered showers northern New England, and maybe some unsettled weather in the western U.S., but most folks dealing with pretty quiet conditions. Some highlights for the weekend: the PGA Seniors Championship in Palm Beach Gardens. High of 81, but unfortunately there may be some scattered thunderstorms around for you. The Winston West Series NASCAR in Phoenix, Arizona. High of 79 under sunny skies, looking very nice indeed. But for Murrells Inlet, South Carolina, the LPGA golf tournament there, maybe some thunderstorms around, and that's not some good news for you. One final golf tournament, Hilton Head, South Carolina, the MCI Classic. High of 74, thunderstorms for you on Sunday. Mixed in too in parts of Georgia and Alabama, and then westward we go. Rain for you, California, into Oregon and Washington, but also snow for some of the mountains here. Your temperatures, you can see quite a contrast there in those temperatures. Pretty cool behind the system, but we're dealing with some pretty warm and pretty moist air here. Dew points in the 50s and 60s, so we're dealing with some moisture in place, and with that you are dealing with some rain and some thunderstorms across not only the southeastern U.S. but also right in here, and this is where those big time storms are rumbling, the ones that have the potential to be severe, that have the potential to produce tornadoes. And this is our travel trouble spot, our problem area tonight that we are highlighting for rough weather, especially anywhere you see in red. Watch out, you could be dealing with some very nasty storms. And we do have several tornado watches in effect. They're lined up from southwestern Iowa back through western Missouri all the way back into extreme northern Texas. Look out for severe storms which could produce large hail, damaging winds, of course lightning, and heavy amounts of rain, but these storms also have the potential to produce tornadoes. A look at the radar shows what all the fuss is about, and you can see where the reds and the yellows are. That's where some of the more intense storms are occurring right now. And with this storm right here in Andrews County, a tornado warning is in effect for you. So this certainly means business, and you will certainly want to take these storms very seriously. Another perspective here just north of St. Joseph. Watch out for this one. A tornado warning in effect in Andrews County for that. And we see other cells to the south, other storms, so watch out. There is definitely some rough weather around. The southern extent of that, again, we see some of the worst of it here. Look out around Wichita, perhaps, back through Oklahoma, and again, just another perspective on those storms here. You can see the bright white clouds underneath those clouds. That's where we're dealing with the rain and the storms, but you've also had that to deal with across Alabama and into Georgia, and some fairly substantial amounts of rain have fallen here. This is a radar estimate of the precipitation that you've been dealing with, and south of Atlanta back towards Macon, and then to the north and east of Montgomery, reports of estimates of 3 to over 4 inches of rain there. So again, some pretty substantial rains have fallen for you, and still falling here south of I-16, south of Macon, along I-75 here, extending back towards Montgomery. We are dealing with the wet weather. All clear in Atlanta for the moment. To the south, though, again, south of Macon, over towards Columbus. That's where the worst of it is right now. Over towards Savannah, you too getting on the wet weather. Generally Savannah and just to the south of Charleston, that's where the wet weather is occurring for you. So not a nice drive for you along I-16. And look out Waycross, look out Albany. This may be headed your way. As we head on into the extended, at least into tomorrow, beyond noon on Wednesday, we're still expecting the chance for thunderstorms here. Some of these could be severe from the deep south on northward to the southern lakes region. Look out for the potential for severe weather. So it's certainly not going to be over today. We'll be dealing with this on into tomorrow too. Westward, a quick check of what you're dealing with. Some scattered rain here up and down the west coast, and you'll want to stay tuned because coming up next on Weather Center, we'll have more on the storms and more on the west. Don't go away.
Heavy rain wreaks havoc on roads as it pounds.
That's what you'll have to deal with this evening, but things are looking better for some folks, at least as we head through time. Looks like things will be improving for you in San Francisco and in LA perhaps as well. Snow continues to fall though for parts of Wyoming and into Colorado. But here in Southern California, scattered rain for you from around Santa Barbara on northward into Sacramento. You've had a bit of a soggy night here and around the San Francisco Bay Area, scattered showers around. But as I mentioned, some of the higher elevations are dealing with snow, and you've had sort of a messy day as we head over towards Salt Lake City. Some wintry precipitation there, just a bit of a mess. It's not been a pleasant day to be out and about here. You've had snow or rain or a mix of both most of the day. A snow advisory is in effect through midnight in the Wasatch. Temperatures have been in the middle 30s. Well, to the north we go. You too have got some soggy weather to deal with here from Seattle back to Portland. Scattered showers around, and this is what we're expecting through noon on Wednesday. Wet weather for all the areas in green, but we will also see snow for some of the mountains, and these are the amounts we're expecting. We may see half a foot or more for some folks through the Sierra, generally 3 to 6 inches of snow for you. Well, we've got some severe weather to talk about. It's moving to the east, and for more on that, we head back to Mike Seidel.
And Kristina, severe weather tonight, but we're also concerned with your forecast for Wednesday. Want to give you a heads up on what's in store for the middle of the week, and if you're traveling into the middle of the country, we've got more dangerous storms on the way. Same system causing the problems tonight in Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, and Missouri will be moving east. Let's show you what's setting up the situation for this, what we term significant severe weather threat on Wednesday. Low-level winds coming out of the Gulf, bringing in a lot of moisture and humidity, which is something obviously which is a necessary ingredient for storms. For it to rain, you've got to have moisture. The cold front continues its eastward trek in towards the Mississippi River Valley. The front acts as a lifting mechanism. You throw the jet stream right over that front, and this is what we call the jet streak. The winds there upwards of 150 to 160 miles per hour. a very strong jet stream, and all those ingredients coming together with the front and the jet stream coming in and the low-level winds. By the way, the winds at different directions at different heights in the atmosphere. That's what we call directional wind shear, and that is one of the precursors for severe weather. So watch out from Peoria, Indianapolis, back towards Cincinnati, down towards Memphis, and over towards St. Louis tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Reiterating, this evening we have a tornado possibly on the ground. We had one in Andrew County, now in DeKalb County in Missouri. This is north and east of the St. Joseph area. A tornado warning lookout around the Maysville area. And down the road, the same cell is moving east across I-35 into Davies County. There could be a tornado warning issued for that county momentarily. Now let's get the rest of the forecast back.